You ever have one of those moments where you think, this cannot be real life? This is some kind of sick joke, right? Yeah, that's how this whole story started for me. Because nothing quite prepares you for your neighbor hissing right in front of your kid. This is a family neighborhood, not a halfway house for thugs. Your kind shouldn't even be allowed to raise children, let alone expose them to decent people. That was the very first thing she ever said to me. Not hello, not welcome to the neighborhood, just that delivered like poison spit across my own grass while I'm trying to carry a box of my son's books into his new room. I mean, if that doesn't set the tone, I don't know what does. Let me back up a sec, because that day about a year ago was supposed to be the beginning of something good. Just a simple 3-bedroom ranch in a quiet subdivision. Nothing fancy, but for me and my son Leo, it was everything. I'm a single dad, have been since Leo's mom passed when he was 7. He's 14 now, sharp, funny, stubborn in the way that makes you proud and tired at the same time. The kind of kid who's got these wild, cool dreads and a laugh that could shake the paint off the walls. All I wanted was a place he could feel safe, a forever home. I thought I'd found it. But turns out our forever home came with a built-in nightmare next door, a woman who looked like she'd lost a war with a bottle of peroxide, always in pink hair, sprayed into this unholy helmet. The kind of person who stares through you, not at you. And it wasn't just words, oh no. That was just her opening act. From that day, it was war by 1,000 paper cuts. She'd call the cops if I played Sam Cooke a little too loud on a Saturday. File HOA complaints if my grass got a 1/4 inch too long. I'm not making that up. She'd glare out her window whenever Leo had a friend over, as if joy itself was some sort of violation. We tried to ignore her, keep our heads down, not give her the satisfaction. But some people, they just escalate. That summer, things got ugly. It was the kind of heat wave where you step outside and the air hits you like a wet oven mitt over 100 degrees for days. Leo's got asthma, so that window AC unit in his room, it wasn't just a comfort. It was his lifeline. His doctor's orders: keep him cool, keep him safe, keep him inside. So I'd worked overtime to get that old unit humming for him, just to make sure he could breathe easy. That day I came home from my warehouse shift, soaked in sweat, dreaming of a cold shower, and the house felt like a kiln. No sound from Leo's room, no gentle hum of that AC. I figured, okay, maybe he turned it off. But I opened the door and nearly fall back the air in. There was thick as soup windows thrown wide and the AC unit gone, just gone. You know that feeling. Heart pounding, adrenaline dumping, every nerve screaming, something's wrong. I rushed to the window, looked out, and there she was. Pink tracksuit, smug as a cartoon villain, dragging Leo's AC across her yellowed lawn in a little red wagon, laughing like she'd just hit the lottery. That's the kind of moment you never expect to see with your own eyes. I just froze, couldn't even shout. Even Leo came in behind me, saw it too. His face just dropped. He's 14, but right then, he looked older, like he'd just had every bit of childhood joy knocked out of him. That's what did it for me. I squeezed his shoulder, tried to steady myself, but the sight of her so happy to hurt us, so sure of her own right to do it, I'd never felt that kind of cold, clear rage. I told Leo, stay here, and I went outside. Here. And the air hit me like a wall, but I barely felt it. She was halfway across her yard, humming as she went. I stepped to the edge of my property and said, quiet but sharp, "Excuse me." She stopped, turned, didn't even flinch. "What do you want?" she snapped, like I was the one out of line. "What are you doing with my son's air conditioner?" I said, hands open, keeping it steady for Leo's sake, because I knew he was watching from the window. She actually laughed, a bark that made my teeth grind. "Your son's... This thing is a violation, a noisy eyesore. I'm doing the neighborhood a favor." I asked what violation, and she shrieked about HOA bylaws quoting made-up rules and noise ordinances saying it was confiscation, not theft. I'm standing there baking in the heat, realizing she's not just crazy, she's dangerous. And when I told her Leo needed that for his asthma, that it was medically necessary, for a split second, something flickered in her eyes. Then it hardened, nastier than ever. Don't use some sob story. If he's so sick, maybe he should stay inside and not look like a hoodlum in my neighborhood. Yeah, that happened. And then before I could even respond, she whipped out her phone and started dialing, shrieking, "You're harassing me. I'm a vulnerable woman. I need the police." She called 911 and started a show for the ages. Big aggressive man, delinquent son. I'm terrified for my life. All while my son's AC sat there, evidence and lifeline both in her stupid little wagon. The cops arrived, lights blazing, 2 cruisers, 4 officers. She runs at them, crocodile tears, streaming, spinning a story so backward my brain nearly short-circuited. They tried to dump that broken unit on my property. He threatened me. The AC was right there, her fingerprints all over it. But the cops, too comforted her, too stiffly approached me. "Hands on your head, sir." Leo came out yelling, "She stole my AC. They told him to go back inside. Let the adults handle this." I wanted to scream, but I did as I was told, hands up, humiliation burning. I tried to explain, gave them the whole story, pointed out the AC, the medical need, the fact that she had taken it. The cop shrugged. "It's her word against yours. She says it's broken, that you're the nuisance. Nobody's getting arrested. File a report, take it to court, stay away from each other." They didn't even check Leo's window, didn't look at the scuff marks where she'd ripped out his lifeline. They drove away, leaving her smirking, leaving me shaking, and leaving Leo's AC in her clutches. Back inside, Leo was furious. They just let her get away with it. Treated you like the criminal. All I could do was nod, try to comfort him. Try not to let him see how badly I felt, like I'd failed to protect him in our own home. But the heat wasn't waiting for justice. The temperature climbed. Leo started coughing. We packed a bag, found a cheap motel, spent what I didn't have to keep him breathing easy for the night. That was the new normal, hotel rooms. Endless calls to appliance stores, everybody sold out thanks to the heat wave. The insurance company wouldn't help. The HOA washed their hands. Not our problem, sir. Theft is a police matter. Everywhere I turned, doors slammed in my face. Pinky just kept filing complaints. And then, because I guess ruining our lives wasn't enough, she reported us to Child Protective Services, claimed I was neglecting Leo, making him live in a filthy, unsafe house without air conditioning. CPS showed up, 2 officials knocking on my door. My heart nearly stopped. I let them in, showed them our tidy, lived-in little home, explained the whole ordeal, even gave them the police report. They spoke with Leo. He told them the truth. At the end, the caseworker said, "We get this sometimes. People use CPS as a weapon. They had to keep the file open, but they knew what was up." Still, it shook us both to the core. Leo wouldn't sleep in his own room for weeks. "What if they come back?" he asked. "They won't, buddy." I lied, wishing I believed it. After that, something snapped in me. I called a lawyer free consult through work. He listened horrified, said we had a case theft, emotional distress harassment. He was right. I gathered every receipt, every report. And then, oh poetic justice, I remembered the security camera I'd installed after one of her rants. There it was, clear video of Pinky waltzing into my yard, wrestling Leo's AC out the window, hauling it off. Her laugh as crisp as the day it happened. I sent it to my lawyer. We filed suit for damages, for a restraining order for everything she'd done. She lawyered up with some slick downtown guy, tried to flip it, claim I was harassing her, even accused Leo of being a potential gang affiliate because of his dreads. That's when it went from petty to monstrous. She filed an anonymous tip to Leo's school, said he was selling drugs. The school called the cops, searched his locker. Nothing. Just notebooks and a bag of chips. But the rumor spread. My son, who'd already lost his mom, who just wanted to fit in, was now branded a troublemaker because of her. That was the last straw. My lawyer pushed hard, filed for contempt, told the judge about the CPS, the school, the endless complaints. The judge saw right through her, slammed down a restraining order, fined her $5,000, and threatened jail if she so much as put another letter on my door. And finally it stopped. The neighborhood breathed again. Leo started healing. He launched a club at school about fighting prejudice, turned his pain into something good. But then out of nowhere, Pinky's own daughter showed up at my door. "I'm sorry," she said, handing me an envelope. "My mother's not well. She's been this way forever. You need to see this." Inside were emails, old letters, even a recording her own mother ranting about keeping the neighborhood white. My lawyer called it the smoking gun. Suddenly the case wasn't just harassment, it was a federal civil rights suit. Her insurance dropped her. Her lawyer bailed. She tried to fight pro se but unraveled in court. In the end, her only asset was the house next door. She offered it in settlement. I took it, but not for revenge. Leo had a better idea. We tracked down a family she'd run out years earlier, the Garcias, invited them back, gave them her house. The whole neighborhood pitched in, made it beautiful. It became a real home for people who deserved it. Pinky left reputation ruined alone. She wrote me a letter before she died. No apology, just regret. I sent what little she left to the Garcias, a last bit of healing, closing the circle. Now I'm a tenants' rights lawyer. Leo's finishing law school. We fight for people who can't fight for themselves because of what we survived together. Hate started this story, but it didn't finish it. In the end, community did. My son did. And I did too. So, what do you think is justice about punishing the bad or healing what they tried to break? Let me know in the comments, because I know we're not the only ones with scars. And maybe if we tell our stories, there'll be more Leos in the world and a lot fewer Pinkies.